Are you just getting started in HR leadership and you're wondering if you're doing it right? Well, after over a decade in HR, this is the advice that I wish someone had told me when I first started out. So if you're just landing your first role or you're overwhelmed by the process, here's this video for you. You know the drill. Get your notebook, get something to write with so you can take some notes. And if you are new here, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you don't miss any future videos about ways to elevate your HR career on purpose and with purpose. When I landed in HR, I didn't even know what HR was. And so I didn't even know what I was signing up for when I first joined the HR role. And I certainly didn't think that 17 years later, I'd still be in HR. Once getting my feet wet, I really thought that HR initially was just about helping people reach their goals. But I didn't understand the complexity around all the decisions, all the precedents that were being set with decisions that were being made. If you're feeling uncertain about what you're doing right now, let me assure you, you're not necessarily doing anything wrong right now. It's just going to take you some time to get used to all the things, all the nuances, and get comfortable in your role. To help ease your mind and give you some perspective, here are 4 things you should know right now. Number 1, HR is not just about people. Yes, we're people focused, but we're not only here to plan parties and to talk to people and to give advice without any substance behind what we do. Yes, you'll be asked to look at the policies and to review policies and to enforce policies, but also consider the benefits and consider employee development and consider leadership and preparing people to be successful in their roles. There are so many things that go into your role as an HR professional. So if you feel like you're going to be good with people or you're a people person, remember there's got to be a lot more substance to the work that you do to be taken seriously and also to build your own credibility in the process. When I think of the work required from HR professionals, I think about the quote from Martin Luther King Jr., where he talks about being tough-minded and tender-hearted. So you must be tough-minded. You've got to make sure you are being consistent in your application of the policies, make sure you're able to make the tough calls, make sure you're able to be discerning in the things that you do moving forward. But you've also got to be tenderhearted. So with all the things you've got to focus on, the compliance, the policies, the enforcement of things, you got to also be tenderhearted. So that means leading with your emotional intelligence, leading with empathy, leading with ways in which you can connect with people on a people level. I think that's where it comes from when people talk about being good with people, and so you be good with HR. But again, if you're only focusing on the people side, you're going to lose so much time to make sure you're building up your skills, to make sure you have the technical skills and the people skills to be successful in the role. Anyone can get in HR and just make friends. And anyone can get in HR and just push paper. You can't do one or the other. You've got to have a balance between both the technical side of the job and the people side of the job. And so as I coach HR leaders to make the most of your time in your roles before you face that burnout, before you quit your job, as I talked about in the prior video, I want to make ssure that you are successful, making sure you have the tools to move forward and sustain yourself moving forward. Because again, people are counting on you to do your job. HR is not a role that you want to go into half-heartedly. You've got to make sure you are equipped and prepared for the work in front of you. The second thing you got to understand is not everyone will understand HR. I talk to so many HR professionals, whether they're in a startup HR department or it feels like a startup HR department. And so for whatever reason, leaders across the nation, across the world actually don't truly understand the value in HR in all spaces. I was teaching a class the other day and talked about the fact that business leaders, less than 30% of business leaders believe that HR can be effective. And I believe that's because they've not seen HR be effective. They've seen HR be reactive. They've seen HR to be an administrative function. They've seen HR to be the party planners, but they've not necessarily seen HR be strategic partners to the business. And so because most people don't understand what HR is and doesn't understand what HR does, again, don't waste time wondering about why they don't value you or why they don't understand. Instead, use your energy to build up your skills and your relationship skills, your technical skills, like I talked about before, but use your time to build yourself up, to build up a track record of success so that no one can take that away from you. That's the best way to get those quick wins. I talked about in a prior video as well. Use those quick wins to build your credibility because you want to make sure that you're not seen as someone on the side, on the outskirts of the business. You need to be a business partner, not in title, but in action. Be prepared for comments and thoughts and things like HR just here to take the notes, or HR is here just to process payroll, or HR is just here to handle the paperwork. If you don't have the words to describe what you're doing from a business perspective, don't even waste your breath. You need to understand how to show the value and not let your work speak for you. That was a mistake that I made so early in my career, expecting that if I just kept my head down and did my work just really, really great, that someone was going to eventually notice the work that I was doing and was going to recognize me for it. But until I started painting the picture, explaining the value of the impact I was making, explaining how what I was doing was not a side project to the business, but was actually moving the business forward in multiple ways, that was when I started seeing elevation in my own career from intern to now I'm a chief administrative officer. So again, you got to make sure that you understand what the business values at this time and how you can work alongside to make sure you are moving the business forward as well. I've got more to share, but before I get to that, I want to make sure that this is resonating with you. If it is, hit that like button and let me know. Again, this is the system's way of letting me know, communicating with me to let me know that you are listening to what I'm saying, you are valuing what I'm saying, and that is really resonating with you. So hit that like button and let me know. The third thing you want to make sure that you remember and understand is that transferable skills matter more than you think. So as I mentioned before, I talk to a lot of HR professionals. So myself included, I talk about people either choosing HR or HR chose you. Most people I talk to, HR chose them. They didn't go to school for HR. They didn't choose HR. Someone just tapped them on the shoulder and said, hey, I think you'd be good for this. Or they land in HR not really understanding what they were signing up for. But what's also interesting is that as I talk to people, as I connect with them on LinkedIn and in my class that I teach, I think it's really interesting that there are so many more people who are going to school to be HR professionals. Getting a bachelor's degree or a master's degree in HR is wonderful. It's a great thing, but don't think of that being the only way that you can be successful in HR, or thinking that, well, because you don't have that degree behind your name or behind your credentials, that you're not going to be successful moving forward. If you've landed the role as an HR manager or an HR director, someone has already seen something in you to know that you're capable. You got to make sure you are leaning into those transferable skills that you have. Skills like communication or leadership or empathy or decision making, these are all great transferable skills that can really lean into your ability to be successful in HR, in addition to lifelong learning. That's one of the most important skills that I've been able to develop and hone and really lean into in my own HR growth, because I feel like without that lifelong learning desire, I would have stayed stuck. I would probably be an HR manager at most at this point. Degrees are great, certifications are great, but understanding how to use your skills, your transferable skills, is just as valuable. You are in the role right now, so make the most of it. Be prepared to leverage those skills, leverage your abilities to make the most of your current situation, and don't diminish the things that you bring to the table. Again, don't count yourself out. Don't give yourself reasons to doubt yourself. Give yourself space to grow. Give yourself grace to know that you have things to lean into. And I always believe that nothing in life is ever wasted. No matter what you do in life, I strongly believe, wholeheartedly believe, everything builds on top of everything else. The things that you've experienced today are going to prepare you for tomorrow, so prepare you for next week, for next year, for next 10 years. So again, lean into where you are right now and make the most and take advantage of every opportunity to learn. The fourth thing that I wish I knew so much earlier is that HR burnout is real. Because we have so much exposure to employees and we deal with employees before they're employees, while they're employees, and sometimes even after, well after they're employees for whatever reason. Because of that, the work that we do in HR can be emotionally draining. It can suck the life out of you if you allow it to. And so because of that, you got to make space to make proper boundaries and to protect yourself in multiple ways. I had a prior video where I talked about ways to protect yourself from burnout, protecting your career, protecting your energy, protecting yourself. So watch that video as well. But I think it's so important to make sure you are leaning into that, because without making sure you are protecting yourself in the process, you will have nothing to give to anyone else. Just because you care deeply about the people that you serve and the work that you do does not mean you got to carry it all alone, and does not mean you have to carry it all consistently. Make space for breaks, make space for time away from work, make space for in the evenings or whenever you're off work. Make sure you are making space for your family, for your friends, for your loved ones, for anyone around you who desires your attention and your support. So again, don't give your all to your company, because again, if anything happens to you, if you win the lottery or anything less than positive ends up happening, that company will go on. So you want to make sure you are leaning into yourself as well. Give yourself grace, giving yourself space, and teaching people also how to treat you in the process. Despite the hard parts, the ups and the downs, HR continues to be my dream career. I had no idea when I landed in the career 17 years ago that I would still be here. Now I'm in a different title. I'm no longer an intern, I'm a chief administrative officer, but still, I'm in my dream career. I would not want to do anything else. I get to be an advocate. I get to be a confidant. I get to be a support system. I get to be a leader. I get to be a business partner to other senior leaders to make meaningful decisions and meaningful impact on people's lives. It's a great, great job to do. I really believe it's God's work. Getting an opportunity to support current employees, future employees, and past employees is such a unique vantage point. No other business unit gets to have this vantage point. Accounting doesn't do this. Operations doesn't do this. It's just HR. So I truly believe that because of that, we've got to take care in the work that we do and take it seriously and be passionate about it. Otherwise, you're wasting your time and you're wasting their time as well. If these tips hit home for you, like more of my tips on ways to elevate your HR career and make the most of your current opportunity, comment down below, give me the guide, and I'll send you a link to download my free HR career guide on the 10 steps to build your career as an ambitious HR professional. It's going to walk you through the areas of your career that I think you need to focus on right now to make the most of this opportunity. Again, you've been given a powerful opportunity to make the most of your own life and your own livelihood, so you don't want to lose this opportunity. So use this to fill in the gaps to make sure you are moving forward with purpose and on purpose. Comment down below with one thing that you have learned in your HR journey or something that has surprised you. Navigating your career successfully takes hard work and intention to make sure you don't burn out in the process. So watch this next video to make sure you don't burn out, and I'll see you there.